Thanks, Jim. Justin Stone here from EliteBaseball.tv. A very exciting time of year for me and hopefully you too. As I getting ready to head to spring training this afternoon and do some work. Spring training games are on TV, and so baseball is just around the corner. And in warm weather areas, they're already playing. And I think back to my pilgrimage that I took once a year when I was a kid. I got to see one game, usually around my birthday. We would make that pilgrimage to Busch Stadium in St. Louis, and I got to watch that one Cardinal game that summer. Games weren't on TV every day back then like they are today. You had the game of the week on during the summertime on NBC, and that was really about it. So I may not get to watch the Cardinals in person or on television, but maybe once a year before the playoffs started. We know as Cardinal fans that they were often in the playoffs. But that one time that I got to go to the game, one lesson that my mother taught me at a very young age is learning to watch the game without following the ball. As a shortstop, I aspired to be Ozzie Smith. I wanted to be like him. I wanted to be every bit of as the showman and as good as he was. And I learned to watch every move he made, whether the ball was hit to him or not. And what you learn here is how guys position, how guys talk between pitches, what they're doing in terms of positioning themselves while the ball is in play and not in play. And you can really learn the nuances of a position by watching that player move without a ball being put in play or hit to him. What I mean by this is my challenge to you as spring training games are starting is sit down as a mom or a dad, sit down with your son or daughter and watch baseball in a different eye. Meaning, we're just not going to talk about what is happening during the play with the batter swinging or the pitcher throwing or look how he does this or look at his swing. I want you to watch it with a different eye and actually talk about the play. Talk about something that maybe the catcher ran down behind first base to back up a routine ground ball hit on the infield in a spring training game. Watch how players rotate on a cut and relay. Or watch how they react after they make an error, or how they react after they strike out. What I'm trying to do here is talk about something I've mentioned in several podcasts recently is if our players are truly going to get better, they have to learn how to communicate. And I'm not talking about communicating just on the field. I'm talking about communicating what they're learning, what they feel, what they're doing to become better as an athlete. If they're totally relying on us as coaches to spoon feed them every piece of information, they're going to struggle to get better at the rate that we want them to get better at. What I have to do with my athletes is have them communicate with me, have them lead the conversation. And they have to be taught how to do that. They have to be taught how to talk baseball. And there's no better way to do that than sit down in front of a TV, or if you're in a warm weather area, get to a spring training game and talk about the game. Talk about what they're looking for in the dugout. There's so many different things that you could talk about during a baseball game that has very little to do with the pitch actually being thrown at that time. And that's my challenge to you now. If nothing else, teach your son or daughter how to keep score. You'd be surprised how few of the players today, when I'm in a 9-year-old practice or we're doing an infield class, I say, okay guys, we're going 6-4-3. And everybody kind of looks at each other and they're staring. And I realize they have no idea what this means. And one of my favorite things to do as a young player or young kid, it was during those playoff games, I would keep score myself. So do that with your son or daughter. Do an inning of keeping score during a spring training game. All we're trying to do is spur conversation in an exciting time of year. Get players excited about baseball. Have that personal connection with your son or daughter about talking about some things, players that you remembered as a child. Pull out some baseball cards. Talk about the stats on the back of the baseball card. That's one of the things that I did with my own 6-year-old daughters. I'm beginning T-ball season, is we had a stack of baseball cards on our plane ride that we just had recently, and we talked about what all the different H, R, to B meant on the back of the baseball card and went through those statistics. That was just a little moment that I got to share with my daughter, teaching her something about the game, getting her excited about baseball and baseball cards, and those are the things I'm talking about right now. Let's have a great season, and let's start this season off by getting excited about the game. My challenge to you, talk about the game with your son or your daughter. Until next time, this is Justin Stone from EliteBaseball.tv. Come check us out as we get into our season right now. Practice plans already made out for you, team defense and situations there, and of course, all of our hitting and pitching progressions laid out in one spot. Free for 48 hours. Check it out today. Until next time, I'll see you on the field.